Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say, Kahala Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rakah HaKwadash. That's all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahweh, and the name of his only begotten Son, whose name is Yahweh Shai. All right, I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles that labored in this truth before me and taught me this truth, and shalom to the hopeful elect. And that's going to lead right into the topic for the day, man. It's just the importance of elders, man. You know what I mean? And learning from the generation that came before you, right? Because that was always the culture of the Israelites, was learning from the elders, man. We always had a respect for our elders, right? Because that's the way the Most High set it up, right? One of the commandments is honor thy father and thy mother, right? Those that brought you up, man. You know, we don't speak wickedly concerning our parents. We don't curse our parents. No, we honor them, even if they might be in wickedness, man. You know, if we have to rebuke them, we do it gently. But you know what I mean? Let me start here. And this is 1 Corinthians 14 and verse 40. It says, let all things be done decently and in order. Right? The Most High God works in order. He's going to set things up in a way that it's not confusing, right? Because the Most High is not the author of confusion. Let's get that. Author of confusion. Right? This is same chapter. Let me just go up. 1 Corinthians 14 and 33 says, for the Most High is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints, right? So the Most High is not the author of confusion. He's going to do everything decently and in order. It's not going to be a guessing game, right? That's why a lot of Israelites today are lost, man. They don't know which way to go because they don't look at the signs, man. The Most High God speaks. He speaks with signs. He speaks with visions, right? And the easiest sign to look for is who's been doing this and who's been doing it righteously, right? Who's been teaching the correct doctrine? Who has the fruits to show that, you know what I mean, they're in the right place, right? We can't be deceived by the glitz and glamour. You know, we got these young camp leaders that come out. Hey, they might have that, you know what I mean? They might have that sauce with them, that swagger. But at the end of the day, are their fruits bearing witness that they're true men of the Lord? Right? Are they charging for breakdowns? Are they constantly changing the breakdowns? Do they speak wickedly concerning the elders, the men that taught them? Right? Those should be red flags. Right? When you really come and get the milk of these scriptures, you understand the Most High God is going to set up shepherds, right, to guide you into the truth. Let's get that. Let's get Jeremiah 3 and 14. Jeremiah 3, where is it at? Jeremiah 3 and 15 says, and I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. And you have to understand, we fell away, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We fell away from the true way. We fell away from the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, right? So what do you have to do? He had to send us pastors after his own heart. So there was going to be men that came up under the elders that learned from their elders, that learned from their elders, and they came and taught us, right? And the true men of the Lord came up out of that one West, man. You know? That's one of the ways you can tell who the true elders are. The truth came out of the one West, right? All these upstarts, all these different people that got their little YouTube channels, man. Who'd they learn from? They learned from the men that were on the street corners, teaching and preaching, right? And it's imperative that you follow the men that learn from those first men that really started to push the truth. You get what I'm saying? Right? You just can't come in here and jump the line, man. You know, you learn all these information from men, and then one day you think that, you know what I mean, you too great to listen to them no more. Now you're going on the train rebuking them. You know what I mean? But the Most High God did it. He did it simply, man. He gave you the role. Eat the role, go out and teach. Right? Stop trying to glorify yourself. And that's what a lot of people's problem with following elders. First off, they don't want to come up under no order. Right? And then second, they want to glorify themselves, man. Let me demonize the people that taught me so that you won't go follow them and find out this is where I got all the information from. Right. Let me get this in the book of Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 34. It says, stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave unto him that is wise. Right. So that's what we should do, man. We should seek out the elders and cleave to the ones that are wise, man. The ones that are teaching the truth. Right. If they're not teaching the mark of the beast correctly, if they're not teaching you that the mark of the beast is the RFID chip, right? They don't, you know what I mean? They don't got the wisdom to be leading you, right? If they got all types of holes in their doctrine, they don't got the wisdom to be leading you, man. You know, if they ain't been in the truth, if they not battle tested, man, we got elders that been in the truth 25, 30, 35, 40 years, and you going to speak against them instead of learning from them? That shows a lack of wisdom on your part, man, because the elders are going to have knowledge that you don't have simply based off experience. And you follow an elder that's really fervent about this thing, that's in these scriptures daily, teaching daily, been on them street corners week in and week out for years, decades, right? He's going to have knowledge and information that you're not going to have, man. It's like if you look at a rookie in the NBA versus a 20-year vet, that 20-year vet is going to be able to do things that rookie can't do, no matter how talented, how athletic that rookie is, how high flying he is. He could jump out the gym, man. That veteran is still going. He's going to best him every time, man. You know, when it comes down to just a one-on-one skill versus skill, that veteran is going to know more. He's going to have more tricks of the trade. You know what I'm saying? He might not be able to keep up with them athletically, but skill-wise, you know what I mean, he's going to be light years ahead because of that experience, man. Right? So let's get 1 Kings, the 12th chapter, right? 1 Kings 12, we're going to start at verse 1. It says, and Rehoboam went to Shechem, for all Israel were come to Shechem to make him king. And it came to pass that Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who was yet in Egypt, heard of it, for he was fled from the presence of King Solomon, and Jeroboam dwelt in Egypt. That they sent and called him, and Jeroboam and all the congregation of Israel came and spoke unto Rehoboam. Right, hold up a sec. All right, Salakia. Right, so it says, and they sent and called him, and Jeroboam and all the congregation of Israel came and spoke unto Rehoboam, saying, thy father made our yoke grievous. Now therefore make thou the grievous service of thy father and his heavy yoke which he put upon us lighter, and we will serve thee. Right. So Jeroboam, they're trying to they want Jeroboam to lighten the yoke, man. You know, this is talking about Solomon's son becoming the ruler, because Solomon was oppressing the people towards the end. Right. And it says in verse 5, and he said unto them, depart yet for 3 days, then come again to me. And the people departed. And King Rehoboam consulted with the old men, and stood before Solomon his father while he yet lived, and said, how do ye advise that I may answer this people? Right? And Slaki, I believe this is Rehoboam, right, that they're trying to make king. All right, so back here in verse 7, it says, and they spoke unto him, saying, if thou wilt be a servant unto this people this day, and wilt serve them and answer them and speak good words to them, then they will be thy servants forever. So right, so Rehoboam, all he had to do was, you know what I mean, speak the right words, you know, and he's getting counsel on how to do that. But let's see what he does. Verse 8, but he forsake the counsel of the old men, which they had given him, and consulted with the young men that were grown up with him, that were grown up with him. and which stood before him. And he said unto them, what counsel give ye that we may answer this people, who have spoken to me, saying, make the yoke which thy father did put upon us lighter? Right? So Rehoboam, he gets the counsel from the elders, man. And what does he do? He said, nah, man, forget that. I'm about to listen to the young men. These brothers I grew up with, I'm gonna listen to them. And that's a lot of the people, a lot of Israelites today, man. They go off their own feelings and emotions, right? They can't give rebuke. They can't take rebuke, right? They can't take getting told they were wrong or getting told no, man. Like sawdust children. They throw a tantrum whenever you disagree with them, man. You know, they can't just dust their shoulder off, pick themselves up, and get back to it. Nah, man. They can't take rebuke. That's why they don't want to listen to elders, man. They want to go on base how they feel. They don't want to come into this thing the right way and get the milk so that they can handle the meat, right? They can handle the deeper understanding of the scriptures. But when you skip the milk, which is coming in this thing with humility, right? You want to go straight to getting honor. That's when you get these people that are messed up in the faith, right? Doing whatever they want to do, teaching all types of things that aren't based off the scripture, right? Just because it feels good. Like you talk about brotherhood over breakdowns. That's off, man. What if your breakdown is to worship Satan, right? Well, you'll say that's a sin, but still, that's a breakdown, man. It's not brotherhood over breakdown. It's teaching correctly, because the Most High God sent us to teach directly and correctly, not to teach whatever we want to do, man. The Most High, like we started out, decently and in order. That's what it said. The Most High does everything decently and in order, man. He's not the author of confusion, right? He's going to let you know who has the truth. It's not going to be a guessing game, right? And that's why he set up elders, man, and sent you pastors after his own heart, not for filthy lucre's sake. Hey, one of the easiest way to tell someone's, off, are they selling breakdowns? If someone's selling breakdowns, hey, man, they're off in the spirit, man. Don't follow that person, man. Follow the people that just love this truth, man. Love to serve the Most High. Love to teach, preach, you know what I mean? Love to hit them corners and go out and prophesy. That's the people you need to be following, man. People that just love the game, right? So, verse 10, it says, and the young men that were grown up with him spoke unto him, saying, thus shalt thou speak unto this people that spake unto thee, saying, thy father made our yoke heavy, but make thou it lighter unto us. Thus shalt thou say unto them, my little finger shall be thicker than my father's loins. And now, whereas my father did laid you with a heavy yoke, I will add to your yoke. My father hath chastened you with whips, but I will chasten you with scorpions. And it's like, man, what are you doing, bro? What are you on, bro? Dude, just bugging out, man. Right? Him and his boys is just bugged out. Right? They don't want to heed wise counsel, man. They want to do whatever they want to do because they living after their own flesh, man. They're not moving in the spirit. Right? And verse 12 says, so Jeroboam and all the people came to Rehoboam the third day, and the king had appointed, saying, come to me again the third day. And the king answered the people roughly, and forsook the old men's counsel that he gave him, and spoke to them after the counsel of the young men, saying, my father made your yoke heavy, and I will add to your yoke. My father also chastened you with whips, but I will chasten you with scorpions. Wherefore the king hearkened not unto the people, for the cause was from Yahweh, that he might perform his saying, which Yahweh spoke to Ahijah the Shulonite, unto Jeroboam the son of Nebat. So the whole point there is, man, after this, the kingdom was prophesied to be split after Solomon anyways. But this story is just going to show you we can still use this to learn, man. Like, You're taking counsel from men that aren't wise, that don't have experience, right? And that's going to lead you to going off, right? When you surround yourself with yes men that won't tell you no, you know what I'm saying? That don't give wise counsel, right? There's safety in the multitude of counsel, man. And you got to make sure that counsel is coming from wise people. Let's get that, let's get that. Right. So this is Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 14, right? Where no counsel is, the people fall. But in the multitude of counselors, there is safety, right? And these people hate wise counsel. A lot of these Israelites, man, they hate wise counsel, man. They don't want nobody to tell them the truth. They want you to tell them smooth things, man. So let's get this in Isaiah, the 3rd chapter. And we're going to start at verse 1. And it reads, For behold, the Lord, Yahweh of hosts, doth take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stay and the staff, and the whole stay of bread and the whole stay of water, the mighty man and the man of war, the judge and the prophet and the prudent and the ancient. Right? So the ancient, that's talking about the elders, man. The elders are mentioned with this group of people, right? Right? And that word for ancient is Zaquan. Old of humans, elder of those having authority. Right? The elder is mentioned with the prudent, with the prophet, with the judge, the man of war, the mighty man. Right? So an elder is something to look up to, man. You know what I mean? You got to take advantage of having elders, especially in this truth, man. People that in labored and seen the ups and downs. They seen people come and go. Right? They done been through it. They've been battle tested. You gotta you want to seek these men so you can get greater understanding. Verse 3, the captain of 50 and the honorable man and the counselor and the cunning artificer and the elegant orator, right? These are all going to be removed from Israel, man, because we turned away from the Most High, right? Verse 4, and I will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them, right? And this is goes a lot of ways, because if you go down to verse 12, it tells you that children are going to be our oppressors and women shall rule over us, right? This is showing you that, you know what I mean, the nation of Israel is all out of order, right? All out of order. We got this queen of heaven spirit. You know what I mean? People talking about the black woman is God, man. It's just off. You're supposed to be a God, right? And you're supposed to lead your woman. Right? Your woman's supposed to look up to you. We got YNs, you know what I mean? These YNs terrorizing our communities. And we can't control them. Why? That's a curse from the Most High. Right? It says he'll give children to be their princes and babes shall rule over them. And right, we see these young camps, man. Some of these young leaders that don't want to follow no order. They can't follow order, but they want to go start their own camp with no order, right? They want to teach whatever they want to teach, whatever feels good to them. Not what the scriptures say necessarily, but whatever they, you know what I mean, whatever feels good to them. They don't want to listen to the what's been taught. They don't want to call on Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. They want to pick their own name, right? They want to change the doctrine for filthy lucre's sake, man. For more views, right? The elders will caution you and tell you, hey, man, warn you about certain things. No, I don't want to do that. Why? Because they want to get more views. They want to glorify themselves, man. Their God is their belly. And they don't believe that anybody is set up to lead them. Right? Even when you're coming and rebuking the Apostle Paul. That's crazy to me, man. You ain't put the work in of the Apostle Paul. How are you opening your mouth to rebuke this man? What did it say? He was stoned. You know, he was beaten. He had revelations directly from Yahweh Shai. He had the mysteries of the kingdom. And you're speaking against this, man? Who are you? Like, what? Come on, man. That's just pride. You know, and it's a crazy amount of pride. Right, verse 5, and the people shall be oppressed, every one by another, and every one by his neighbor. The child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient, and the base against the honorable, man. So, that's extremely prevalent in the Israelite community, man. People don't see an elder that's been in the truth 40 years and be like, oh, damn, Let me go learn from this brother, right? He's been teaching the truth 40 years and he's teaching correctly. He goes precept upon precept. Now, I don't want to listen to that. He speaks too harshly. You know, I don't like how he talks about this. I don't like how he talks about that. Right? But is he teaching the truth? That's all that matters. That's all that matters. And when you recognize wisdom in a man of hoary that has a hoary head, right? The gray hair, the ancient of day. I mean, a man ancient in his days. You know what I mean? Elder, you should want to cleave to that person and learn as much as you can so that you can grow wise. And one day you could be the elder, Lord willing, right? So let's go to, let's get Lamentations, the 5th chapter. Lamentations 5, I'm going to start at verse 7, right? It says, our fathers have sinned and are not, and we have borne their iniquities. Servants have ruled over us. There is none that doth deliver us out of their hand, right? And all these other nations that are ruling over the Israelites are servants, man. You know, the true kings of the earth are in captivity right now. And the only way we're getting out of here is through the Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, right? We're patiently waiting on the return of the Messiah. That's the only way we're going to get out of this predicament, man. Right? Because our fathers sinned, and if you can receive it, we are our fathers, right? We've been here before. So it was us that broke the covenant. Now we're coming back and completing our punishment, right? Verse 9 says, we got our bread with the peril of our lives because of the sword of the wilderness. Our skin was black like an oven because of the terrible famine. They ravished the women of Zion and the maids in the cities of Judah. Princes are hanged up by their hand. The faces of elders were not honored. They took the young men to grind, and the children fell under the wood. The elders have ceased from the gate, the young men from their music. All right, so hey, it's a curse that we don't have, you know what I mean, abundance of elders, right? It said the elders have left from the gates. The elders aren't the leaders no more, right? Because gates represent leadership, right? We don't have elders at the gates no more. We got children as our princes, and they speak arrogantly. They speak wickedly to our elders, man. You know what I mean? That's a curse. Let's go back to Isaiah, the 3rd chapter. All right, let's get back to Isaiah, the 3rd chapter. What does it say in verse 5? It says, yeah, the children shall behave themselves proudly against the ancient. That's what that was talking about right there, man. We don't have our elders in the gates no more. You know what I mean? Not in abundance, but the Most High is going to set up men and groom them in the truth that they can lead us. Right? So let's get Isaiah 3, and I'm going to jump down to the 12th verse. It says, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the way of thy paths, right? And that's all these leaders, man, that are teaching feel-good doctrines, man, instead of teaching the truth, man. Just teach it how it's supposed to be taught. And don't be given to change, man, because the word also says, meddle not with them that is given unto change. All right, let's get this in Exodus, 3rd chapter. And we'll start at the 15th verse. It says, and Yahweh said moreover unto Moses, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, Yahweh, God of your fathers, the God of Abraham and the God of Isaac and the God of Jacob, have sent me unto you. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial unto all generations. Right? So the Most High God, Yahweh, is his name through all generations. It's very important. And another thing that's important, it says the God of your fathers, right? Who are our fathers? Our fathers are elders, right? Because watch what it says in verse 16. It says, go and gather the elders of Israel together and say unto them, Yahweh, God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Jacob, appeared unto me, saying, I have surely visited you and seen that which is done to you in Egypt, right? But the point here is, man, the God of our fathers, right? And the Most High tells Moses to gather the elders and speak to them. Because the name is being passed down through our generations, right? Because we know Adam had the name, Noah had the name, Seth had the name. It said in the time of Seth, men began to call on the name. So that's passed down through the elders. That's why it's important to seek the elders, the ones with wisdom, right? With the correct doctrine, that got the oil. You know what I mean? Because you're going to get a lot of information from them elders, man. Stuff that's going to help you in your walk. You know, you can't be too prideful, man, that you don't want to listen. That's not a man, that's not an Israelite indeed, right? Because what Yahweh Shai said, he said, an Israelite indeed, in whose mouth I found no guile. Now, you want to be an Israelite indeed, that means you follow the custom of the Israelites. You know what I mean? You're not just saying you an Israelite, putting on some fringes, but you're not truly, your inward man ain't that of an Israelite. You just got the outward appearance, right? What's that, Romans 2? Matter of fact, we'll get that real quick. All right. Let's get that real quick. This book of Romans, chapter 2, and verse, where is it? All right, verse 28 says, for he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly, neither is that circumcision which is outward in the flesh. But he is a Jew, which is one inwardly, and circumcision is that of the heart, in the spirit and not in the letter, whose praise is not of men, but of the Most High, right? And, you know, Christians try to use this verse to say, I really don't know what they basically try to use this verse to say all nations can be Jews, but that's not what this is talking about, man. It's talking about your conduct, right? It's talking to Israelites about conducting yourself like an Israelite, not just boasting in the law, but actually keep the spirit of the law, right? And we're going to get into the laws later, but it tells you to rise up to the hoary head. Respect your elders, man. That's where that come from. You know what I mean? In so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian communities, we always had that in our community, to respect your elders. That's always been a law. That's always been just a custom. We've fallen away from that. It's crazy how you come into the truth, learn this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and you still, and you revert, right? You should learn this wisdom. You should learn who you are, and then magnify those customs, right? Especially when you see that there are laws in the Bible. But our people, they're confused, man. Niggas is 30 years old, 35, 40 years old, calling themselves elders. And little niggas is looking up to these dudes like elders. These niggas, that's not an elder, man. We got dudes that's been teaching longer than this man's been alive, man. And you calling this dude big homie and elder, man. Get it together, man. You got to get it together, right? So let's go here in the book of Numbers, chapter 11. I'm going to start at verse 14. It says, I am not able to bear all this people alone, right? This is Moses speaking. It says, because it is too heavy for me. And if thou dealt thus with me, kill me, I pray thee, out of hand. If I have found favor in thy sight, and let me not see my wretchedness. And Yahweh said unto Moses, gather unto me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom thou knowest to be elders of the people, and officers over them, and bring them unto the tabernacle of the congregation, that they may stand there with thee, right? So, verse 17 says, and I will come down and talk with thee there, and I will take of the spirit which is upon thee, and will put it upon them, and they shall bear the burden of the people with thee, and that thou bear it not thyself alone, right? So the Most High God, Yahweh, you know what I mean, he's speaking Moses right now. Moses like, man, you know, he can't bear the burden of judging all the people alone. Right, so the Most High God said, hey, I'm going to put the spirit on 70 men to help you judge. But who were these 70 men? He said elders. And he said that you give me 70 elders, men that you know to be elders of the people, right? So these are men that are wise, right? That are elders that have, you know what I mean, that can exercise wise judgment, right? True leaders. He's told you to pick those leaders out of the elders, not just anybody, you know. Not just some young dude that's he got some nice fitted caps. Nah, elders, man, people that are tested, that are tried. Put the spirit on them so they can help you judge the people, right? You know what I mean? People, men of experience, men that have been through the trenches, man, battle tested, tried and proven, right? That's the importance of elders, right? This is Deuteronomy 32:7. It says, remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee, right? So we said, man, you speaking to your fathers, you're speaking to your elders to get that wisdom, man, to get that foundation so that you can build on and you can multiply the fruit that your tree is bringing forth, right? The only way you're going to multiply your fruit is if you have a solid foundation, and you get that foundation from the men that came before you, right? Because what do you think the scriptures are? The scriptures are written by men or written by ancient men, by the men that came before you, right? You didn't get this truth just by your own revelation. No, you read what the prophets had wrote, and first you had to have someone teach you. Right, that's Romans 10, man. How can they teach unless they be sent? How can they hear without a teacher? Right? You had to be taught these scriptures that came from the elders before them. Right? And you had to go to the elder to get that information, man. Right? So why would you speak against these men? You had to go to them just to learn, just to get this understanding through the Spirit, right? Because that's how the Most High God works. Right? He said he speaks by the mouth of his prophets. Right? Let's get Psalms 107 and 32. I start 31. It says, Oh, that man would praise Yahweh for his goodness and for his wonderful works to the children of men. Let them exalt him also in the congregation of the people and praise him in the assembly of the elders, right? You know what I mean? Hey, you should be communing with elders. If you ain't got no elders, man, we got YouTube. You could watch the elders, right? There's no excuse for you not, you know what I mean, seeking out those that came before you and getting this true wisdom, man. Getting girded up the right way, coming up the right way in this truth. It's extremely important. Right, let's go here to 1 Timothy, the 5th chapter, and verse 17. It says, let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor, especially them who have labored in the word and doctrine, right? So, hey, man, the elders that been laboring, bro, you need to, give them double honors, man. Give them the respect that's due to them. Because imagine you in this truth, man. We already know, man, you come into this truth, you're going to deal with hell, man. You know, you're going to get persecuted. People are going to hate you for teaching this truth. We're calling on the names of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. All right, and imagine you've been doing it for 40, 30, 35, 40 years, 20, 25 years, right? That's someone you should be like, damn, he's definitely got some information that I need, man. Niggas been the truth 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and don't think they need to learn from the elders. Then when they come into a situation, they get bumped on their head. They don't know how to deal with it. Why? Because you're going after your own heart, man. Not based off of wisdom. You're not moving in the spirit of wisdom. You're moving in the spirit of emotions, right? And fleeting feelings. You know, you're not going about this thing the right way, and that's gonna get you fucked off, man. Right. So let's get this in Titus, the 1st chapter of Titus, and the 5th verse. Right, it says, for this cause I left thee in Crete, that thou shouldest set in order the things that are wanting, and ordain elders in every city as I had appointed thee. Right. So this is the Apostle Paul writing to Titus. He's like, hey, man, go out and get qualified elders to rule over each city. Right. Appoint elders to rule over the cities. Right. We keep on seeing this recurring theme of elders, man. Elders, right? Verse 6, if any be blameless, the husband of one wife, having faithful children, not accused or of riot or unruly, for a bishop must be blameless, as a steward of the Most High, not self-willed, not soon angered, not given to wine, no striker, not given to filthy lucre, but a lover of hospitality, a lover of good men, sober, just, holy, temperate, holding fast the faithful word as he hath been taught, that he may be able by sound doctrine both to exhort and to convince the gainsayers. Right? But what did it say? The elders that are teaching the word that they were taught. You feel what I'm saying? Right? They're teaching sound doctrine. And that's another thing. Teach what you been taught. But you got to teach sound doctrine. Right? And the elders are the only ones that are going to be like, oh, okay, let me revise this. Come to the revelation of this. You see, these niggas think, oh, I've been in truth 5 years. Oh, the Most High gave me a special revelation. I've been in here 10 years. The Most High gave me a special revelation. No, but you've been in the truth 5-10 years, but you've been doing wickedness. You know what I mean? These men will say this certain group will say they've been in the truth, a decade, and they were teaching lies the whole time, or teaching something they didn't believe was the truth the whole time. So these same men will say they're perfect in the law, but you were willfully sinning, right? You were willfully lying and teaching something you didn't believe in. That tells me you don't got integrity. Why would I follow you, right? I'm about to follow the men that are teaching the truth directly and correctly. And the easiest way to find out if you're teaching the truth, break down Revelation 13, man. What's the mark of the beast? Because that's a major prophecy, and that has to do with salvation. What's your breakdown? Tell me what that is, man. And then we'll know if you're truly an apostle, right? We got to try the spirit. Try every spirit, right? James, the 5th chapter, and verse 14 says, is any sick among you? Let him call for the elders of the church and let them pray over him, anointing him with oil in the name of the Lord, right? Yahushua. Right, and the prayer of faith shall save the sick, and the Lord shall rise him up. And if he have committed sins, they shall be forgiven. Right, so it's telling you to go to the elders. Right, James is telling you to go to the elders and tell them to pray over you, anoint you with oil. And if you follow the elders, man, especially the elders, GMS, you know what I mean, Apostle Tahar, the different apostles of you know what I mean, Apostle Gabar, Apostle Ramla, Apostle Rakah, right? They push health, man. They push getting into herbs, not going and taking a vaccine. You know what I mean? They push getting into the herbs, healing yourself, right? And James is telling you, go to the elders, man. Go to the elders so they can pray over you, so they can teach you how to heal yourself. Right, this is the importance of elders, man. You can't scoff at the elders, right? Especially if you come into the ancient customs, brother. You know, you got to be mindful of these things. Let's get 1 Peter, the 5th chapter. We're gonna start at verse 1. Right, it says, "The elders which are among you I exhort, who am also an elder and a witness of the sufferings of Hamashiach, and also a partaker of the glory that shall be revealed. Feed the flock of the Most High, which is among you, taking the oversight thereof, not by constraint, but willingly, not for filthy lucre, but of a ready mind," right? So it's telling you the elders are the ones that are going to feed the flock. And Peter's like, hey, you elders, as I'm an elder and a witness of Hamashiach, feed the flock, man. So the elders is the ones that are going to keep you nourished in this truth, man, keep you going, right? They should be a motivation that a man can make it multiple decades in this truth, waiting for these chariots, right? Seeing the signs and seeing the signs of the world, and you know what I mean, different ages coming to pass, right? And different prophecies coming to pass, and still keeping the faith, man. Right? Patiently keeping this faith. That should motivate you. Right? That should get you excited to do the work. Right? Verse 3 says, "Neither as being lords over the Most High's heritage, but being examples to the flock." Right? And the perfect example, to the flock is someone that's doing the work day in and day out, man. Not for filthy lucre's sake. Not with their Cash App, their Cash App, their PayPal, their Zelle posted everywhere. That should be a red flag, man. That should be a red flag when this man got every single payment app posted on his video. Like, what the hell, man? You know what I mean? You gotta shun all appearances of evil. Right? So let's get into the law real quick and we're gonna close it out. It's Leviticus 19 and 32. It says, thou shalt rise up before the hoary head and honor the face of the old man and fear thy God. I am Yahweh, right? This is a commandment from Yahweh, man. Honor the hoary head, man. Let's get this in the NLT. Verse Leviticus 19 and 32 in the NLT. It says, stand up in the presence of the elderly and show respect for the aged. Fear your God. I am Yahweh, right? Gotta have respect for the elders, man. If you not, you're going off, man. Get it together. Talking about we're the new elders. These niggas really saying that these kids who ain't really been through nothing in this truth. You know what I mean? They ain't tried in this truth. Some of these niggas that haven't even hit a decade in the truth talking about, you know what, we the new elders, man. We the new elders. And these niggas got all types of drama going on, man. Sneak dissing each other. Right, making videos about drama and gossip. And we got all these prophecies going on. What's the elders doing? Right, the true elders out here making videos about the prophecies that are coming to pass. Right, rebuking people that are going off so they can be sound in the faith. Right, these niggas is talking about some brotherhood over breakdowns. What? No, man. If you loved your brother, you will rebuke him. Because right here in the same chapter, let's get this in the same chapter, Leviticus 19. And shit, two laws that these dudes is in violation of. 19 and 16 says, thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people. Neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I am Yahweh, right? So, hey, that gossip spirit, man, that's off, man. You going up and down amongst your people as a talebearer, that's off, right? And you guys we got a lot of chatty patty spirits, man. You know, people that on some Wendy Williams ass shit, man. Gossiping. That's off, man. As a grown man, you should not be gossiping. Right? We gotta be focusing on keeping the main thing, man. Let's get on these chariots. Niggas doing talk shows. Niggas in a talk show spirit, man. Instead of prophesying, you supposed to be a prophet. Where's the prophecies at, man? All this talk show nonsense. And you still pride in that folly. You're prideful in that folly, man, when you should be, you know what I mean, warning the flock, feeding the sheep, right? You know, certain people, like, they'll let a camp leader tell them to stop making videos. Stop putting videos out, man. You listen to the elders, they're telling you, do more videos. You should be doing more. You know what I mean? Certain camps, you got to be a certain rank before you can even make a video. And then in certain other camps, they telling you, hey, don't, unless you're a certain rank, you can't even teach about God. Go do a hood vlog. Go do a hood vlog, man. What kind of nonsense, right? You go to their camp, you search their camp in the toolbar, in the search bar. Nigga, they ain't putting no videos up. They whole city, they ain't put a video up in months. You like, damn, bro, what's going on? Some of these dudes, you just look at their last video, it was a hood vlog 6 months ago. Man, what's going on, man? These people are showing their true fruits, right? Moving on, right? So this is the 17th verse. It says, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him, right? So it tells you don't hate your brother in your heart, but you need to rebuke them. Man, these niggas think that getting rebuked is hateful. No, that's love, man. That's true love. When you going off in the scriptures, when you going off in the doctrine, when you doing the wrong thing, it's love that you get corrected, right? And you should love to do that, man, because, hey, rebuke from a wise man is like ointment. It heals, right? But y'all don't love the truth, man. Y'all love lies, man. You love sweet, smooth things, man. It's a shame that you come into this truth and you acting like the people of this world. Right, hey, moving on, man. Hey, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 16 and verse 31. It says, the hoary head is a crown of glory. if it be found in the way of righteousness, man. So, hey, an elder that's been doing it the right way, you know what I mean? Hey, he's to be honored, man. And you should be learning from these people, not trying to usurp this man. You know, learn from them, get your foundation right, and you know what I mean, continue to build your house, man. And you know what I mean, always remember the chief cornerstone, man, Yahweh Shai, man. You know. And hey, man, that's pretty much all I gotta say. I want to say all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Until next time, amen, shalom.